day, football fans from all over the world. Thank you for tuning in for another episode on your favorite TV, Patriot TV, almost sports, information, and entertainment. Today, we have a review of the games that were played on Saturday for you in the English Premier League, from the Chelsea game to the Arsenal game, and even the Bournemouth Crystal Palace game, one of the best games of the week. And we have all the review for you. Stay tuned with us. And with me is my partner, Miriam. Miriam, welcome to the show. It's good to see you again.
Good afternoon. It's so good to be here. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. It's been a while. Welcome back. All right, so let's get to the main action that we have for this week. So in the English Premier League, we had a series of games on Saturday, and let's start from the very first one at tea time, which is 12:30 kickoff. Nottingham Forest at home to Chelsea. Now this game ended 3-0, but more than the 3-0, there were a lot of drama that happened. What was your take on that game?
Chelsea went on to play a very good game with them, considering in the last from the past few games they've played, they've had series of injured players and all. At first, I was thinking the Nottingham Forest players, we're going to do it for their manager, just for him to not get sacked. But the way it ended, it got me shocked because Nottingham Forest playing at home in front of their crowd and losing 3 goals to 0 against Chelsea is so alarming.
Okay, all right. In the first half, the game was actually fine balanced and everything was fine. Then, half time, there was an incident between the club owner, Marianakis, and Nottingham Forest coach, Ange Postecoglou. And then it didn't come out for the second half, and the performance dropped for Nottingham Forest, and then the 3 goals conceded. How was that for you? It was just...
It was really a shameful act. I was expecting him to come out. I was expecting the owner to come out to come and cheer the players and the manager up. But as it is, after watching the first game, the man felt disappointed with the performance he saw, and he realized from the halftime he knew what he was going to do. Even before Chelsea scored the goal, he knew he was going to sack the manager, and that was what happened.
Okay, well, according to reports I saw in the media, actually, when he went down to the tunnel, they were actually having a nice chat. It wasn't even about whether it was going to sack. They were just having a chat. But somewhere along the way, things just turned awry, and it got physical between the both of them, and they had to be separated. And then after the end of the match, they brought out the official communication that Ange Postecoglou is no more the manager of Nottingham Forest, and they have nothing to do with him again. And it was quite surprising for me. But moving on to the Chelsea side of the argument.
It was quite surprising, but look at it. If an owner signed a manager for a certain amount, only for him to play 7 games, lost 5 and drew 2, do you expect him to keep him?
I understand something. This was a team built by Nuno Espirito Santo, and what led to Nuno Santo's exit was also something similar: a disagreement between Nuno Santo and Edu Gaspar, in which the owner sided with Edu and asked him to leave. No problem. It's going to take Angie a while to also build his own stamp on the team. Meanwhile, in the transfer window, I don't think Angie brought in many players. No, the players were actually brought in by Nuno himself before he took over. So it's going to get a while before he is able to pass his own ideas across. So if you're not ready for that transition period, you might as well just coach your team yourself, as far as I'm concerned. You might as well just coach your team yourself. There is going to be a transition period where nothing will work, because the players have to unlearn old habits and relearn new ones from Ange Postecoglou, and then understand his philosophy and then start putting it into practice. For me, any coach that can win a major trophy with Tottenham, come on. We've seen him for 2 years in the EPL. He's not a bad coach. He has very good ideas. His tactics are always good and everything, and his attacking style of play is beautiful, wonderful. Although, to be fair, Postecoglou can actually be a bit too naive for my liking. He reminds me of so much of Wenger at some time, where everything just had to be no. Football is not always like that. It will turn, there are twists and turns and everything. So you have to prepare for every phase of those games. So like that. But then, still, I understand the reports haven't been coming. While Forest is not Man U, Man U have also have that same situation, but they are willing to stick to that transition period under Mourinho to change things around. Yes, it has been disappointing, but they also see the signs of the potential of things to come. you need to give the coach time. He's played only 7 games. 7 games, I think. Drew 5. No, lost 5, drawn 2. No, wala. I understand. It's a transition period. It's not going to happen in a day. Rome was not built in a day. Even Nuno didn't get all the good wins. He didn't build this team in one season himself. So for me, that's just it. That's just it. So and if you look at the owner, he has always had this complex also where he wants to be the main guy. The main guy, that main guy complex. He has that too. So I think that is the major thing for me. That's why I'm saying that.
Let's wait for the new manager that will come in and take up the position.
Well, according to reports, I think they are looking at uh, I've forgotten the name. An Italian coach. He used to coach in
Yeah, Roberto Mancini.
Roberto
Yeah.
Mancini. Yeah, Roberto Mancini is one out here. So hopefully we look at that. But let's go over to Chelsea now. Let's talk about Chelsea. Chelsea scored 3 goals. They rallied from this woeful display they had in the first half, and then they came back firing on all cylinders. Do you think those were due to Enzo Maresca changes or whatever I said to them in the dressing room?
Well, the changes also had an impact in the game because if we look at it, some of the players he brought in, I mean, he brought in Achapong, and he scored a goal. That is an impact on its own. And look at James. I think it has to do with the discussion they had in the dressing room. Because if we look at the first half wasn't as balanced as that, and that was the reason why the goals weren't coming in. Although Pedro had some chances which he lost, same as Santos, but at the end of the day, none of the guys had got a goal. It was Reece James and Machapong that got the goal at the end of the day. So good one for them.
And also James getting the goal on a milestone day for him. I think that was his 300th appearance for Chelsea, and also it's quite a good one for him. Then moving on, Brighton versus Newcastle. Did you have any expectations for this game?
To be honest, I was thinking I actually wanted Brighton to win because of the fact that they were playing at home. But at the end of the day, yeah, it ended exactly how I wanted. So
All right, so 2 goals by that guy Websy. Yeah, Welbeck. Oh, despite he's long gone in age, but he keeps turning up with some amazing goals, leading the line for Brighton. How would you rate his performances?
he has been performing so well, pretty well since the start of the season. He's not a regular player, but every time they bring him in, he always bring out a show, which is quite good for him. And looking at it, I don't think Quebec is willing to stop anytime soon because he just wants to continue playing and giving us what he has been doing for quite a long time. So yeah, it was a really good match. It was a good match. And when I checked their record, their head-to-head, I realized it was Minte, this Ghanaian player that always give the goal against Newcastle. But looking at 2 goals from Welbeck, yeah, that was great.
Okay, 2 goals from that guy Websy, and then we saw an equalizer in between those goals by the new striker for Newcastle, who seems to have taken to life in the Premier League like a fish to water, Watamode, and he scored a very lovely cheeky goal. Amazing skills you wouldn't expect for someone of that height. It was just a great goal for me.
Look, you see that goal? I'm picking it as one of the best goal of the season. Although we haven't finished the game yet, we are still expecting more beautiful goal. But that is going to be among the contending goal of the season.
Okay, a very cheeky goal, very beautiful goal from that guy, Nick Watemode. And then for me, Newcastle, they seem to have this not so good record when playing with teams around that mid-tables area. They are not so good with closing out those games. So they probably need to work on that if they want to get to Europe again next season. So let's talk about 2 new teams or 2 returning teams from in the Premiership. Burnley versus Leeds, and Burnley took the game 2 goals to nothing. Well, are you surprised by that result?
I wasn't surprised because if we look at their record, Burnley has always been the one taking the winning, especially when they play in their home ground. And with the inclusion of Burnley, the moment Burnley arrived in the Premier League this season, they've been showing us what they showed them in the Championship last season, that yeah, they are here to stay. And looking at their performance so far, I don't think they are willing to go back to where they're coming from.
They are not willing to go back. They want to stay. And then the next game I want to talk about, which for me is the game of the week and the game I really enjoyed the most. Crystal Palace versus Bournemouth. It was an explosive game. How did you see that game?
Wow, that game was fantastic. every bit of the match from the start to the finish was epic. Bournemouth scored the 2 goals first. Then all of a sudden, Crystal Palace equalized. And from there, they didn't even stop there. They went ahead to, well, they didn't win. I would have expected them to win the game, being the fact that they played in their own ground. But they, it was so magical because I was thinking, I was hoping Semenyo would perform a magic in that game, being the fact that I have him in my FPL, but he didn't give me anything. But that game was so fantastic.
He created the first goal, but I think there was a deflection before he got to the player, so he wouldn't get the assist.
Well, he later got an assist with the yellow card, so yeah, I'm still pissed at that. But it was really an interesting game.
Yeah, for me, I think one of the highlights for me was the electrifying play from the wings, especially from Semenyo. He really, really exemplified that. His runs, his movement with the ball, his strength, his passing, everything was a thorn in the flesh of the defense of Crystal Palace. But they scored 2 quick goals in the 7th minute and 38th minute. Krupp scored. They scored both goals, and then both. Second half, they were able to rally. Crystal Palace rallied with goals coming from Mateta, the main man, the boom. So he got the goals. But I thought Ryan Christie must have thought he won it when he scored in the 86 minutes. Only for poor defending from a corner, they considered a penalty. And of course, that man again scored the penalty to complete his hat-trick, Jean-Philippe Mateta. And also, he got his call-up, finally got his call-up at the age of 28. His first call up to the senior team of France, which he also marked the goal, and then coming back with an hat-trick. For me, I'm actually pleased with Mateta. It's something that has been long coming, and he really deserves it. So I hope he keeps up his performances this season for them. All right, so let's move on. Perhaps this game, there was perhaps no surprise in it. Manchester City versus Everton. Were you surprised at the result?
No, I wasn't surprised at all because Everton traveled all the way to Etihad to go and do what they know they can't win the game, but they tried. And guess what? Our Markman, our main man, got 2 goals from himself, which is I'm talking about Erling Haaland.
And at the start of this season, it was recorded that Erling Haaland had the worst start in the season with 5 goals in 3 games, and that was his worst start. And I was like, but this guy is showing that really is one of the best strikers in the world at the moment. Call out your top 3, top 5 strikers. Erling Haaland has to be on that list to make it work. He is showing what it means to be a marksman. I remember the game against Arsenal. He had only 2 chances. He scored 1. That's a 50% accuracy. It's crazy for someone like that, and his record is just crazy, and it doesn't look like he's about to stop anytime soon.
And to think he scored in their qualifier, only for him to come back. He scored in their qualifier. They qualified for the World Cup, and yeah, he came back to the Premier League and give us 2 banging goals. That was amazing from him.
Yeah, that was amazing. A brace also in this game. And then next, quickly we go to the game against Sunderland versus Wolves. Wolves really seem to be struggling this season, and they don't look, from predictions going on, they don't look like they might actually survive the drop this season.
No, it doesn't look like they've been struggling from the. I don't know if it is the sales of Kunwa that caused this or something, but from the start of the season they have been struggling. And looking at it, if they don't brace up, if they don't start picking up from wherever if they don't start picking up from now, before January, it's going to be very difficult for them to do anything meaningful in the Premier League.
Yeah, I don't think it's the sale of Cunha, but I think the sale of Cunha was just the final nail, because actually they've been selling most of their best players without actually replacing them with quality players. And I remember one commentator actually said, Wolves might just be a social experiment to see how long you can keep selling your best players and not replacing them, and see how long you can stay in the Premier League. And it seems that the answer might be this season. But hey, football is funny. There can be still twist and turn.
Let's give it to Sunderland. That was a good one from Sunderland. Just like Burnley, Sunderland are here to stay.
Yes, not to take anything away from Sunderland. They've been solid this season, and they've been very clever in their dealings. And I especially want to mention the transfer of Granit Xhaka. They really brought in Granit Xhaka, not just for his leadership, but also for the Premier League experience. And it has been showing. Granit Xhaka has had one of the best performances of a midfielder so far in this season, despite playing for a low team such as Sunderland. It has been, it really is one of the best buys of the season as far as I'm concerned. Then also, let's go to the last game of the day, the game between Fulham and Arsenal. For Fulham, Nigerian Alex Iwobi, he reached a milestone in that game with 299 appearances as the most appeared Nigerian in the Premier League, overtaking Shola Amiobi at 298. How for me it was a wonderful moment. Congratulations, Alex Iwobi. We are proud of you and we want more for you. But however, a pity it was not such a good outing for you against your former club Arsenal.
He had a good run. Congratulations, Iwobi. He had a very good run. I saw his performance was brilliant. He tried as much as possible to get a goal, but unfortunately, it didn't come.
Not just a goal, he had some crazy passes. There is this connection between him and Harry Wilson. It does not matter where Iwobi is. Once he plays that pass, whether diagonally or a cross or a cutback, Harry Wilson is at the end of it, and it was just magical. Unfortunately, Wilson, I think he didn't bring his scoring boots in that game.
Let's acknowledge Arsenal defenders. Arsenal defenders this season, they are. In fact, I think there is this connection between them and Raya. They want to keep as much clean sheets as possible. So, looking at anybody playing, any team playing Arsenal this season must be very ready to play them, to work in front. Especially now talking about the strikers, they must be willing to work in front because the defenders are not ready to lose guard.
Yeah, speaking about Arsenal defense, this is the second game back to back where they have faced zero shots on target, and the last time this happened was in the 2003-2004 season when they went. The last time they went, they won the league, and it seems they are on that same level now. How would you compare the defense of the 2003-2004 season to this current one?
Well, it was actually quite similar, but then Arsenal won the league that season, and looking at it, I think an history is about to repeat itself. So let's see how it goes.
All right, let's talk about the Arsenal side of the game. Calafiori scored a worthy, but unfortunately it was cancelled due to offside. And then we saw the Arsenal goal again from corner. Gabriel with the assist this time, and then Trossard also scoring the goal. How was that moment for you?
It was a beautiful moment. Well, I'm not talking as an Arsenal fan now, but it was a great goal. And looking at it, if Arsenal keep on performing like this, they might win the Premier League at the end of the season.
So let's quickly round up. What are your final thoughts on this game, on the games of this week?
Well, we are about to watch the Liverpool versus Manchester United game, and I'm hoping Man U will do an upset against Liverpool. So I know it's a big game, so let's see how it goes. But I'm rooting for United. Up United.
All right, go Manchester United. Someone's rooting for you. Pull a surprise. Thank you very much for your time. We are going to watch the game, and I will come back with fans' reactions for you. Stay tuned.